What's up, everybody? My name's Trey, and welcome to another video. And, well, the sad truth is, times have changed. YouTube is no longer the only video sharing platform giant anymore. There are alternatives. So what if there was a platform that lets you say exactly what you thought, how you felt, paid you fairly, and didn't rely on Google's algorithm to actually get people to watch, share, and engage with your content? Well, my friends, that's exactly what Rumble claims to be. So in this video, we'll actually break down what exactly Rumble is, how it works, how creators get paid, and if it's even really worth your time posting on the platform. But before we actually get into the video, if you are somebody new to the channel, make sure you hit the subscribe button and notification bell to get notified every time I post a video, and leave a comment in the comment section down below if you've ever been on Rumble before. Because before I kind of found out Rumble was a thing and started posting on it, no one I've ever met has talked about Rumble as, it's an all YouTube alternative. So, like, why not just go to YouTube, right? But what exactly is Rumble? Well, Rumble is a video sharing platform very similar to YouTube. It's also a live streaming platform, but it emphasizes free speech and creative freedom when it comes to the actual creators on their platform. In terms of, it's very hard to get demonetized on said platform, as its whole goal is freedom of speech. You can get on there, basically make videos about whatever you want, say whatever you want without the implications of worrying about being kicked off because whoever is moderating the content doesn't like what you post. You don't have to worry about that on Rumble's platform specifically. Rumble basically came about because it saw that creators felt limited in terms of what they could post on YouTube, and they were becoming demonetized on mainstream platforms based on their views when it came to what type of content they're actually producing. So Rumble saw that as a beautiful opportunity to kind of come into the landscape and say, we are pushing for freedom of speech 1000% without a doubt. And they are also publicly traded on the NASDAQ under the ticker symbol RUM. So more or less, they're definitely a big player in the space. If you're a publicly traded company, you know what you're doing. You definitely have some upside. So it's not like they're just started in, have been running in somebody's garage all this time. They are definitely a big deal, and they know exactly what they're doing. Now, how exactly does Rumble work? Well, if you know how YouTube works, Rumble is exactly the same. In terms of, you can upload videos, live stream, earn revenue, build followers, build communities. It has a mobile version. It has a desktop version. You can watch it on your TV, your laptop, your desktop, your tablet. And it also has a very simple algorithm. There's no hidden shadow bans. There's no black hat tricks that you have to do in order for your videos to get seen. It's based on how good your videos are and if the community on Rumble actually is feeling your content. And the main type of content that you actually find on this platform are podcasts, news, games, sports, finance, vlogs. Look, it's really just YouTube's content, and majority of the content are people just reposting their content from YouTube. So it's the same video just on both platforms, or you might find kind of more of the raunchy, less edited version on Rumble that they didn't want to put on YouTube because they were afraid to be demonetized or be shadow banned from the platform, maybe because of some of their viewpoints, or just maybe like they cuss a lot or they use alcohol or they do something that wouldn't necessarily align with YouTube, where Rumble says, hey, we have free speech over here, come post on our platform, we're not going to hurt you for those things, so just go ahead, and as long as you're posting good quality content and people are engaging with your content, we're definitely going to allow you to do that over on our platform. Now, what exactly are the differences between Rumble and YouTube? First, it just becomes with far less censorship than YouTube. The types of videos that you're allowed to post on Rumble, some of them you would have no shot in the world being able to post on YouTube just because of the censorship and what YouTube allows you to actually post on their platform. Now, they have a very transparent algorithm, which means there's no bias, there's no black hat tricks, there's no special individuals that you have to be in contact with in order for your videos to get more views. They do a really good job of trying to take care of all of the algorithm on the back end and saying, hey, as soon as you upload a video, we're going to do our very best to make sure this video is shown to as many people as humanly possible that we think will really like this video, simply because the more views you get on Rumble, the more money Rumble makes. So they are highly incentivized to make sure that they are showing your video to people who actually care about your content. Rumble also seems to really prioritize small or mid-sized creators when it comes to pushing their content. So they don't only focus on accounts that are extremely large that have millions of subscribers or anything like that. It seems like it's really geared to new creators and creators of mid-size who are really trying to establish who their audience is, make money on the platform, and just make sure that their overall experience is going well. Because if you've never posted any content before, the first 100 videos that you post, especially as a new content creator, in my personal opinion, are easily the worst, because you're getting no views, you're getting no comments, no likes, you're getting no type of engagement on any of your videos, and you're spending so much time making the content. So it's really nice that they're pushing out small content creators and mid-sized content creators just to make sure they're getting a little bit of traction, they're getting those momentum, and they're ending up at the place they want to be in terms of building their income and building their audience. Now, I know what you're thinking. So, okay, cool. It's a really cool platform. It allows free speech. You can post whatever you want on there. But, like, who exactly is on Rumble? Because this is a new platform that I've heard of. So, like, if I've never heard of it, there's surely not that many people on it, right? Well, you'd be mistaken, unfortunately. There are major brands on Rumble. Russell Brand, Steven Crowder, Dana White. There's tons and tons of people, and very famous people, if that are posting on Rumble. Many podcasts and financial creators are also moving over to Rumble, and Rumble has 80 million active users, and they're growing every single day, every single month. Basically, Rumble is becoming the go-to home for creators who value independence, who want to make sure that none of their content is going to be taken down simply because a operating body doesn't like the content that you're posting. Now, when we kind of look at it, what's Rumble versus YouTube directly? Well, Rumble was founded in 2013. YouTube was founded in 2005. Rumble has a monthly user base of about 80 million, where you compare that to YouTube's 2.5 billion users they have every single month. So when it comes to just overall size, obviously Rumble is far, far less in size than YouTube. There is barely any censorship on Rumble, where compared to YouTube, where you only get 3 strikes and then you are really at risk at demonetizing your channel or getting kicked off the platform completely. Monetization on both platforms work relatively the same. You get paid through ads, tips, building communities, building paid networks. So in terms of the monetization on both YouTube and Rumble, they are very, very similar. So YouTube wins when it comes to actual scale, but Rumble wins when it comes to creator control, just because they really do value your freedom of speech and ability for you to post whatever content that you actually want without worrying about getting kicked off the platform. Basically, what Rumble is saying is we're not trying to be YouTube. We are trying to be the best place for creators to come and have peace of mind, knowing that when they post their content here, they won't get restricted or shadow banned based on the type of content that they produce. They want to make sure that they have an open forum to where content creators can post whatever content they deem to be interesting, and Rumble is saying that those content creators will be rewarded by the community who actually watch their videos. So if you post a video on Rumble that wouldn't be able to be posted on YouTube, and you get a tons of engagements and likes and follows and comments on Rumble, Rumble deems that as a huge success, as they are just slowly but surely taking some of the power away from YouTube and putting it back into the creators' hands. Now, let's jump into exactly how creators make money on Rumble, because that's probably the most important part, right? So the number one way is going to be through ad revenue. So once you're monetized, you can earn ads on your videos, very similar to YouTube. You don't actually have to do anything when it comes to the ad revenue. All you have to do is post your content to Rumble. Rumble is then gonna make sure they are putting ads on your content, whether it be before, mid-roll ads, or at the end, and they are gonna make sure they do that completely for you, completely hands off. They'll make sure that's done for you. You also have a Rumble Rants, which is basically live streams where viewers can donate. It's kind of like super chats, so you can go live and people can donate to your your channel or your cause that you're going live for directly on Rumble, which is really cool. They also have the partner program, which is basically you getting paid for every single view that you get on your account. You do have to be part of the partner program first, which isn't relatively that hard to actually get approved in, but then you get monetized and paid every time somebody views one of your pieces of content on the Rumble platform. Now, Rumble also has 4 different licensing options that you will have to decide to pick between when it comes to uploading content. So I did a full breakdown on these 4 licenses specifically and which one could be best for you. So if you are interested in that video, it'll be in the pin. I think it's over here, maybe over here. I'm not sure. It'll be at the top. So just go ahead and hit that pin, or you can go down in the description to find that video that breaks these down more in depth. But essentially you have 4 different types of licensing. You have exclusive management license, you have exclusive excluding YouTube license, you have the Rumble only license, and the personal use license. All of them are very different. They have pros and cons to each one, depending on how you want to grow not only your brand but your audience on Rumble and across different social medias. So I highly recommend clicking that video in the YouTube description if you want a full breakdown on the different licenses, but you do want to make sure that you have an understanding of which license you want to use when you post your content, just to make sure you're not infringing on any licensing agreements that you may have opted into. Now let's jump into some of the pros and cons of the Rumble platform. So some of the pros include free speech, no political bias. You're basically able to promote whatever video that you want on the platform without worrying about getting kicked off or demonetized. They actually have a better revenue share than YouTube, especially for small creators. Most times, small creators I feel can get a little bit overlooked when it comes to YouTube, just because they're such an enormous giant when it comes to the video sharing platform, and they have content creators who have hundreds, if not millions of followers, and the small new channels can kind of get overlooked in my opinion. Live stream features are built into Rumble, which is really nice, and it makes it very convenient, especially if you're somebody that wants to get involved into live streaming. And overall, I would say Rumble is more geared towards the actual creator than it is the viewer. I would say it's opposite on YouTube. YouTube really wants to make sure that the viewer is getting the best experience humanly possible, where Rumble has the opposite. It knows that the content creators that are making content for the platform are really the lifeblood of Rumble in terms of income, in terms of retention, and people wanting to come over and use the platform. So I think the user experience for the content creator on Rumble is a little bit better, where the content and the user experience for YouTube may be a little bit better on that side. Now, what are some of the cons when it comes to the Rumble platform? So it's a much smaller audience than YouTube, so it's extremely difficult to go viral. So if you're somebody that normally goes viral relatively easily on YouTube or TikTok or Instagram, you might not see that same type of success on Rumble, simply because they just doesn't have the user base that these other social media platforms have when it comes to their monthly users, their daily users, and just the overall hype of the platform. Now, there are limited editing and analytics tools. It feels relatively clunky compared to YouTube. Their interface isn't perfect. It really feels like the beginning days of YouTube. It's like before YouTube was able to figure out all the bells and whistles to make the algorithm perfect and make sure that your editing tools were on point and to make sure that everything was laid out really properly, really pretty. It just has a clunky feel to Rumble. Not saying it's a bad feel, it's just a very different feel than YouTube in my opinion. Now, if you're somebody that started your video consumption on Rumble and you went over to YouTube, you probably feel the exact same on YouTube. You might say YouTube has way too many bells and whistles, there's too much stuff going on. I like a very simplistic approach that maybe Rumble has. So I wouldn't say that it's necessarily a con when you get used to it, but it definitely takes a minute to understand the layout, which can be frustrating for some people. Now, I guess the question is, after we went through the pros, the cons about the platform, should you join Rumble? Well, if you want freedom, complete control over your content, and basically the inability to be demonetized or kicked off the platform, I would say without a doubt 1000% yes. If you're already uploading videos to YouTube, why not repurpose them, make more passive income, and grow your audience on a different platform? Seems like a no-brainer to me. So creators who get in early on new platforms normally grow the fastest because when there's not an enormous user base, those consumers of said user base have to go somewhere. So if you are a small creator and you're making content on YouTube and you just feel like you cannot find your niche, you cannot get views, you cannot get subscribers or likes, and you just feel like you're overwhelmed by other extremely large brands, maybe repurposing your content over to Rumble would really help you out. Or at least I think it has helped me out in terms of growing my audience, because now I am posting on multiple different platforms and I can see that I'm getting more traction depending on what type of videos that I'm actually posting. So more of my podcast style do really well on Rumble, where more of my how-to videos or what are videos, like what is Rumble, what is Odyssey, what is Daily Motion, what is YouTube, those do really well on the YouTube platform itself. So if you are thinking long term when it comes to building your brand, building your audience, building your income, I would say YouTube is definitely a great platform to post your content on, besides just posting it on YouTube. You want to make sure you're diversifying not only your audience but also your income. Worst case scenario, YouTube goes down, they demonetize your content. Well, at least you have Rumble running in the background, still making you some money until you can figure out what exactly is going on with your YouTube account. So would highly recommend not only you start posting content on Rumble, but really learn the insides and outs of Rumble. It's a pretty simple platform to understand. Like I said, there's not as many bells and whistles as YouTube. It's definitely a lot different than YouTube, just in terms of kind of how it functions, but similar enough to where if you've posted a video on YouTube before, the transition will not be very hard. Trust me, you'll figure it out. But just like that, I really hope you enjoyed this video. If you are new to the channel, make sure you hit the subscribe button and notification bell to get notified every time I post a video. And leave a comment in the comment section down below. Are you somebody who's going to check out Rumble now? Because, well, I would really recommend YouTube. The type of stuff that you can find on Rumble is actually pretty insane, and if you've never been on it before, you have no idea what I'm talking about, so go ahead and try it out because it's something, I promise. And just like that, I will see you in the next one. Peace.